Hello everyone, welcome to Court with Krissy. He might be a little crazy, she might be a little shady. It's the perfect combination for a PPO violation. I hope you like it. Court with Krissy is now in session.
All rise, please. Hearing, hearing, hearing. Lincoln County Municipal Court's now in session. The Honorable Matthew George presiding.
Please be seated. It is November 21st. First matter this morning is 24 CRB 1490, State of Ohio versus Roland Hunter. Mr. Hunter is present without counsel. Mr. King is here on behalf of the Law Director's Office. We're scheduled for trial on 2 charges of violating a protection order. Mr. Hunter, did you wish to have a trial today?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You understand you're waiving your right to an attorney today?
I do.
Yes. Okay. Mr. King, would you like to make an opening statement?
Relatively simple case, Your Honor. There was a civil protection order issued out of Franklin County. It prohibited several things, and it was also personally served on the defendant. Prohibited him from having contact with Ms. Hunter, and also prohibited firearms. In fact, when the police were called, they located him at the same residence as Ms. Hunter. They also recovered 3 firearms. So that's pretty much it.
Mr. Hunter, would you like to make an opening statement?
Not at this time, no.
Okay. Mr. King, you may call your first witness.
Record custodian from Franklin County.
Ma'am, if you come up here, follow me. Go right up there, you'll see some steps off to your left. Go up those steps, remain standing. Go ahead, go on up. Remain standing and raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you should give in this case now being heard to be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God, or under penalty of perjury?
I do.
Have a seat. State your full name.
Sandra Lynn Stapleton,
Spell your last name.
Stapleton.
And state your business address.
My business address is 375 South High Street, Columbus, Ohio.
Thank you.
You may proceed.
Ma'am, what is your occupation?
I'm keeper of the records for the courts.
Which court would that be?
Juvenile domestic, Franklin County.
And what do your duties include as keeper of the records?
When the records come in, to make sure they're on file, filed properly with a timestamp on it, signatures that need to be put on there, just verifying that everything's on the actual form as far as, signing off on it and the date.
Okay. And I think you brought certain records, and I've got certified copies. If I may approach the witness, Your Honor.
You may.
Consent agreement.
What am I looking at here?
Those are exhibits 1 and 2. One is a consent protection order, and the other one is your acknowledgement of receipt.
Okay, so this is the paperwork that was filed by her.
Ma'am, let me hand you first what I've marked for identification purposes as plaintiff's exhibit 1. I believe the certification is on the last page. Is that a certified copy of the consent agreement?
Yes, it is.
And what case number is that?
21 DB 1850.
And who is the petitioner?
Petitioner is, I'm going to say her name probably wrong, Tarsha Hunter,
Okay, and who is the respondent on that?
Roland Hunter.
And what is that document?
Protection order,
Okay, is it a consent agreement?
yes. Yep, and that's timestamp.
And it's timestamp,
Yep.
what is the timestamp
The
on?
timestamp on this is October 5th, 2021.
21?
by
And
clerks.
how long is it good for?
My guys, it looks like September 27th, 26th.
Okay, and that's a consent agreement. Let me hand you what I marked for identification purposes, Plaintiff's Exhibit 2. What is that?
It says an order consent agreement.
And it indicates that people had signed it,
Correct.
a judge had signed
Correct,
it,
instead of the respondent.
and the respondent had. And again, who was the respondent on that consent agreement?
Roland Hunter,
All righty.
and this has been certified.
Both of them have been certified copies? Okay. That's all I have, Your Honor.
Mr. Hunter, you have any questions for the witness?
Yeah. What is the address where the protection order was filed on?
The respondent's address is 3 Columbus, Ohio.
Okay. That's all I have right now.
Okay. Mr. King?
No, sir.
Yep. You may step down. Thank you.
Do you need this one?
Just leave them there.
Okay.
Yeah, just leave those, and Ms. Hunter. Did you leave those up there?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. And you're good to go, ma'am.
I'll listen to the judge. Thank you.
Thank you. Is that the address that you got?
Yep.
Okay.
Senator, if you follow me.
The Franklin County clerk is free to go, correct?
Pardon?
The clerk is free to go.
Yes.
You tell him.
Go up to the steps.
I thought I
Tell
did,
him.
but-
He told her to stay.
Oh, okay.
You solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you wish to give in this case now being here to the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help you God, or determined in perjury. Have a seat. State your full name,
Tarsha Hunter,
spell your last name.
Hunter.
May proceed.
Thank you. Ma'am, do you know an individual by the name of Roland Hunter?
Yes,
And is he in the courtroom today?
yes,
And point him out to the judge, if you would. Gentleman seated at the other table?
yes.
And how do you happen to know him?
I'm married to him.
Okay, you're still married?
Yes,
And at some point in time, did you have occasion to obtain a civil protection order?
yes,
And I believe Plaintiff's Exhibit 1 still should be up there. Do you recognize that document?
yes,
And is that the order that you obtained?
yes,
And are you familiar with Mr. Hunter's signature?
yes,
Look at Plaintiff's Exhibit 2. Is that his signature?
yes,
And do you recall him being there to enter into the consent agreement?
yes.
And how long is that good for? Should be on the front page down towards the bottom.
September 27, 2026.
26?
Yes.
And is that still in effect?
Yes,
You've never asked that it be dropped or anything of that nature?
no,
Okay. I want to call your attention to, I believe it was October 26, 2024. Do you recall seeing Mr. Hunter on that occasion?
yes.
Where was he at?
In the bedroom?
Of what address?
I'm sorry, 2 Roseburg, Ohio.
And whose address is that?
It's both of our address.
Okay. But he's not allowed to have contact with you, correct?
Yes,
He's required to stay so many feet away from you?
yes,
And was he in contact with you back on that date? And you and he get in an argument?
Yes. Actually, it was the Friday before that day, if I'm thinking correctly. We had an exchange of text messages where we had a disagreement via text message, and when I got home the morning, that morning, he had taken everything out of my prayer room, filled the bathtub up in the bedroom, and had put all of my things in the bathtub, personal pictures and things like that. And so I had asked him not to touch my things, and he was in the bed at that time, and, you know, he just kind of looked at me, and then he said that I should leave, and I said, well, I'm not leaving because, I mean, I'm on the lease as well. And so I ended up laying down and going to sleep, and then later that day, that night, actually, after I had gotten back home, after running errands and stuff, I went to bed, and he was home, but he was in the garage, which is where he usually is, having his drinks or whatever. And so he comes into the bedroom smoking and had alcohol, I think it was E&J, a bottle of E&J, and some cans of beer. And I got up because I smelled the smoke, and I said to him, smoking gives me chronic migraines. And I said, and he said that he didn't care about that. So then he sat down in the chair. We have 2 chairs in the bedroom, 2 white chairs, and he sat down in a chair, and he continued to smoke. And so I got up to get the air freshener out of the bedroom, out of the bathroom that's in the bedroom, and I started just spraying it, and he just continued to smoke in the bedroom and disregard me telling him that it gives me headaches. And so then we just kind of bantered back and forth a bit, and he was like, am I supposed to care about that, and you need to leave? And I said, well, I mean, this isn't going anywhere, so you should leave. And so he said he wasn't going anywhere, and I wasn't going to make him, and no one else was. So then he continued to smoke. He got up from where he was sitting and went to his part of the closet in the bedroom, got some additional cigars to smoke, sat back down, continued smoking and drinking and doing something on his phone. And then, you know, finally he asked if I would come to him, and I said, well, no, because you're right here in front of me. Why should I get out of bed to come see what you want? And you can say whatever it is you need to say. And so then a few seconds after that, he just kind of smirked and said, oh, well, it's your loss. And then he gets up, and I think he went downstairs. I'm not 100% sure, but he left out of the bedroom. And then he returned with this long gun, like a rifle type gun. And then he set the gun.
Did you know that gun was in that residence?
No, I
Was it
did
your
not.
gun?
No, it's not.
Do you know whose gun it is?
I don't know.
Okay, but he went and got it
Yes.
from wherever it was at?
Right.
What did he do with that gun?
And then he placed the gun on the wall, propped it up on the wall next to our TV, and then he started rumbling through some boxes that he had also got from, I guess, wherever the gun was. And then I got up out of the bed, and you know, I went to the bathroom, and then when I came back, he had changed clothes, and then he laid down. And so then I just started taking pictures, and you know, I called my cousin to let her know what had happened, and told her that in case anything happened to me, I wanted her to know what was going on.
Okay, and that was your sister you called?
No, it's my cousin that lives in Cincinnati.
And did anyone, to your knowledge, call the Reynoldsburg Police Department?
No,
Did they show up?
no one called them.
Did they show up?
No,
You never saw a Reynoldsburg police officer?
not that day, no.
What day did you?
It was on that Wednesday, the following Wednesday. I had actually gotten a referral to go to Domestic Violence Network, and I spoke with an advocate there. And from there, the Reynoldsburg Police was contacted because we
Okay.
established that the protective order was still active.
Right. And then, did you ever have any contact with the Reynoldsburg Police Department?
Yes, when they came to the residence that Wednesday evening.
Okay, and when they came to the residence, do you know where Mr. Hunter was at?
I believe he was in the family room.
He was at the residence?
He was at the residence,
With you?
yes, yes.
Ma'am, on Plaintiff's Exhibit 1, could you read paragraph 5?
Respondent shall stay away from petitioner and all other protected persons named in this order and not be present within 500 feet or distance of any protected persons wherever those protected persons may be found or any place in the respondent knows or should know that the protected persons are likely to be, even with the protected person's permission.
Even with your permission, he's not allowed to be there, right?
Yes,
And he had your permission at least at some point in time, right?
yes,
And when the police arrived, he was there.
yes.
Where were the guns?
I was only aware of the one gun that I saw in the bedroom, so that gun was still in the bedroom, propped against the wall by the TV.
Did you take these?
She shook them.
And at any point in time, did you take pictures?
I did. The Saturday that he had brought the gun into the bedroom, when he got into bed to go to sleep, I took pictures before I called my cousin.
Now, let me show you what I marked for identification purposes as Plaintiff's Exhibit number 3. Can you identify what those are? There's several pages there.
The first picture is Rollin sitting in front of the TV in the white chairs in our bedroom. The one beneath it is a picture of where the gun was propped against the wall, where he propped the gun. The next one is a picture of my personal items in the tub, in the bathtub. The next one is a picture of an empty container that I found that smelled like marijuana. The next one underneath that is a receipt that was found in his vehicle where ammunition was purchased. And then the next picture under that is the beer cans and the little bag and the alcohol bottles that was right next to where he was sitting in the white chair.
Okay, and that's the first page. What about the second page?
The second page is another angle of that table with the beer cans and glasses and other things that belong to Rollin. The bathtub with additional personal items in there, it's another angle. A silver handgun with a clip.
That you didn't previously have known it was there?
No.
Okay, go ahead.
And then on the other side is Rollin's nightstand drawer that has two clips in it, a long clip and then a smaller handgun clip. The next picture is another close-up of the gun that's propped against the wall. And then the last picture is a black handgun with a clip.
And that is the second page. How about the third page?
And the third page is the long rifle-type gun that was propped up in the bedroom against the wall.
Okay. And are those true and accurate copies of the photographs that you took as you found them?
Yes.
Then surgery was on 26. She came to the Department of 31st.
Okay.
With Lincoln County.
Okay.
After that,
Okay. I have nothing further, Your Honor.
Mr. Hunter, you have any questions for the witness?
Yeah, Your Honor. When you first filed the protection order, what address was that?
30 Miss Ohio 43232.
And after we went to court, what did I do?
You voluntarily signed the protective order, and then,
Did I move out of the house?
yes,
Where did I move to?
you moved into the city of Whitehall. I don't remember the address, but there were some apartments in the city of Whitehall.
Apartments, for the record, it's called Estates on Main.
Objection.
You'll have a chance to testify later. If you have any questions that she can answer them.
Okay. This apartment that I moved out of the house that we shared, and I moved into these apartments, did you co-sign for that?
I did co-sign.
How long did I stay in these apartments?
I believe 2 years.
2 years, over 2 years, 2.5 years.
Uh,
Did you visit this apartment
I did, yes,
numerous occasions, correct?
yes.
Were you in fear of your life at this time?
Objection. I don't have to prove she's afraid of anybody.
What time are you talking about, Mr. Hunter?
The time at the 2.5 years at my apartment that she visited and co-signed for.
She can answer the question.
No, I never saw a gun there, so I wasn't.
Okay. You say you never seen a gun or knew I had a gun. Didn't we purchase guns together at Vance's gun store?
Objection, Your Honor. Before or after the CPO?
This is before the CPO.
Then I don't think it's relevant, Your
She
Honor.
can answer the question.
The gun, yes, we purchased guns together at Vance's
Okay.
before the CPO.
But before you said you didn't know that I had any gun.
Well, the gun that we purchased together, I was told in the protective order meeting to give to your mother, which I did give to your mother. So how you got it back, I don't know.
And this new house, what is the address of the new house that we shared together?
21 Reynoldsburg, Ohio 43068.
And what date did we sign this agreed lease?
It was April 30th, I believe.
So from April 30th until you went down to file with the Reynoldsburg Police Department, why did you wait so late?
Wait so late to file.
A protection on the violation of protection order. Why did you wait 6 months?
Because you had not presented a gun before then. When I saw the gun that day after we had argued and you had consumed alcohol, I was concerned that you were falling back into your old ways, which is why I reached out to the Domestic Violence Network to see what I needed to do from there. And that's when we discovered that that protective order in Franklin County was still active.
So you just said you knew that I got my gun back from my mother, the gun that we purchased together.
Objection.
I didn't say
She
that.
did not say that.
So you had knowledge of me. You didn't know how I got my gun back. So you had knowledge of me getting my gun back. But then you just said that you didn't know I had a gun and you seen me bring the gun into the room and all that.
No, what I said was the gun that we brought together at Vance's, I was directed to give to your mother by you in the hearing. And your mother was in possession of that gun. So I do not know how you got that gun back. I don't know if your mother gave it to you, you went and stole it. I have no idea. But I was not aware that you were in possession at that time of the gun. My first knowledge was that day when you brought the rifle and then you admitted to other guns that was in the house. So I had no idea other than that. I did not know where those guns were in the house.
So 2.5 years in my apartment, you visited frequently. Then on an agreed lease at 20, you agreed to go in there with me. So this is about a 3-year time frame. All this time, you never went and filed, but we had a conversation of you going down before we even signed the lease, of you dropping the protection order. Isn't that a little misleading?
No, what was misleading was that you got baptized and promised to change your ways. You were going to Alcohol Anonymous meetings, you were going to church, and you said that you were changing. And based on that, you wanted to get back together and give our marriage another chance. And that's where I agreed. And at that time, your son's mother had passed away, and you were in need of support. So that is the reason I agreed to move back in together to work on a marriage that I thought was getting better based off of what you promised me, which was idle promises.
So I just wanted to let it reflect that she did just say that we had a conversation about dropping the protection order. And me, contingent, making changes and everything like that. So going into this lease agreement.
Objection, is there a question?
It is a question coming. Going into this lease agreement, there was no hesitation or anything. There was no fear for anything.
Objection.
6 months later.
Okay, do you have a question for the
Yes, I
witness?
do.
Okay, please ask your question.
6 months later, after you didn't supposedly see any change, or you must have seen some change, why didn't you file, or why did you go into this lease agreement?
Because there was changes made. Again, you were going to Alcohol Anonymous, you were going to counseling, you were going to church, you had gotten baptized, and you were changing. However, you reverted back to drinking. For whatever reason, you started drinking and it became a problem, which we discussed, and you continued to drink and stay out and whatever you were doing. And then once we had a disagreement, it escalated to you bringing the gun in the bedroom. That is the reason I reached out to domestic violence.
Did I assault you?
No,
Did I physically harm you?
no,
Did I threaten you?
not with words.
Did I threaten you with a weapon?
I mean, you brought the weapon in the bedroom when I didn't do what you said, so I felt intimidated by
Did
that.
I say I was going to do any harm to you?
No,
I have no further questions at this time.
Mr. King?
Was he within 500 feet of you?
yes,
Did you ever tell him or show him any paperwork that the CPO in Franklin County had been dropped?
no,
And as far as the firearms go, were they your firearms?
no.
Who produced those firearms when the police arrived?
When they came in, I told them where the long gun was, so they
Correct.
found it in the exact place. Roland, admitted to 2 other guns that were in the house. So that's how they found the guns, which I didn't know where they were or that they were in the house.
Now, you and he do not have children together,
We do not.
but you mentioned a child.
Yes.
Whose child was it?
It's Roland Shaw. He has custody of him. He's a minor.
Okay, and you had indicated that child's mother had died?
Yes, I believe in February of this year.
And how did you take care of that child in any way?
Yes,
Is that part of why you had agreed to be with him?
yes. I've taken care of the minor child since he was born. Even though his mom was there whenever he would come to visit Roland, I was there changing diapers, planning birthday parties, so I was actively involved in his life, even before Roland and I got married.
Okay. Nothing further, Your Honor.
Any other questions, Mr. Hunter?
Yeah, I do want to make a correction. My son's mother died January 26th, not February, just for the record.
Okay.
My question is, did I also help take care of your children in this time frame?
Yes,
Okay. Do you believe that I should be charged with these charges?
Objection. It's not up to her to charge anything.
Sustained.
I'll rephrase. Do you want to see me charged?
Objection, it's not relevant. The state of Ohio brought these charges.
Sustained.
Last question. Do you still love me?
Objection.
Sustained.
No further questions.
Okay. You may step down, ma'am. Thank you.
I would call Officer Lewis.
You solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you should give in this case now being heard should be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help you God, or come to be a perjury.
Yes, sir.
Have a seat. State your full name, spell your last name,
Yep. Nicholas Lewis, last name Lewis,
and state your business address.
7240 East Main Street, Reynoldsburg, Ohio.
Thank you.
You may proceed.
Thank you. You're employed by the Reynoldsburg Police Department?
Yes, sir.
How long have you been so employed?
Since January 20th, 2016.
And 2016?
Yes, sir.
At some point in time, and I want to clarify the dates, on October 26, 2024, did you have occasion to respond to 21?
So we did not respond on that date. She came in, Miss Tarsha Hunter came to the Reynoldsburg Police Department on October 31st with
Okay.
a victim's advocate with Licking County.
Okay. And as far as the October 26th, is that when she was alleging the violations had occurred?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And the violations were at, and did you ever go to 21?
Yes. After we obtained a copy of the active protection order through Franklin County, we verified the dates were still in effect. We went to the address after obtaining a statement from Ms. Hunter and located Roland Hunter at the address.
Okay. Now, that address is in the city of Reynoldsburg, Licking County, Ohio?
Yes, sir.
And you indicated that Mr. Hunter was at that address. Is he in the courtroom today?
Yes, sir.
And point him out, if you would, for the court.
He's in a brown suit.
And when you got to that address after the complaint was made, what, if anything, did you do?
I went to the rear of the address. We had two officers, Officer Lowry and Officer King. They were made to the front, made contact. Roland Hunter answered. He was placed in custody at that point. I escorted Mr. Hunter to my patrol vehicle. That's when officers located the firearms, and I read on Mr. Hunter his rights for Miranda warning.
And do you recall which officers located those weapons?
I believe Officer Lowry, I was not present when they did a consent search at home from Tarsha Hunter. Mr. Hunter admitted to having the firearms. He provided, at first we found two firearms, the shotgun, and then there's another gun that was underneath his bed. He provided the location of the third gun, should be in a box in his garage.
Okay.
So,
In addition to firearms being recovered, was there any ammunition?
yes, they're located in 3 magazines.
I have nothing further, Your Honor.
What date did you go to the residence?
October 31st.
Mr. Hunter, do you have any questions for the officer?
Yeah. Officer, did any of my weapons have any magazines loaded in them?
No, sir. They were not loaded. Yeah.
So they were basically safe, speaking, like not loaded, no one in the chamber or anything like that, correct?
Correct, yeah.
Okay. I didn't give any hesitation by telling the officers where to locate the guns, correct?
Correct. You're cooperative. The only thing on the third firearm, you just kind of give a vague statement, but you did say it was in a box in the garage, which
And
that's where they
the
located
officer
it
found
at,
it at.
to my knowledge, yes.
Yes, okay. No further questions.
Mr. King?
If I may. Looking at plaintiff's exhibit 3, the firearms were unloaded. Were there magazines recovered,
Yes,
as well as ammunition?
yes,
And if there is a magazine with ammunition, don't I just have to put it in and cock it back to make it
yes.
operable?
To my knowledge, the one magazine was located in his bedroom in a nightstand, and the other firearm, I believe, is, I can't confirm, I'd check Officer Lowry or King. The one firearm was found underneath his mattress, so I think it'd be pretty accessible.
What does paragraph, I just missed it, 14 say?
Respondent shall not possess, use, carry, or obtain any deadly weapon, including firearms, ammunition, at any time while this order remains in effect in order to bring in about a cessation of violence. Furthermore, respondent may be subject to firearm and ammunition restrictions pursuant to 18 U.S.C. 922 G1 through 9, 18, United Supreme Court 922 N or Revised Code 2923.13 NCIC 07. Respondent is accepted only for official use pursuant to 18 United States Supreme Court 925 A1 if no other firearm and ammunition prohibitions apply.
Thank you. I have nothing further.
Any other questions, Mr. Hunter?
Oh, yeah. Are you familiar with the laws?
Yes, sir.
Okay, because, I mean, I know you're reading the one that states right there. Are you familiar with the law that says anybody that files a protection order that willingly goes into an agreement such as a lease is in violation as well? Are you familiar with that law?
Not to my knowledge, no.
Okay.
You may step down.
Sir.
Officer Lowry?
You'll see some steps up here to your left. Go up those steps, remain standing, and raise your right hand, please. You solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you should give in this case not being heard should be true, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help you God or under penalty of perjury?
I do.
Have a seat. State your full name, spell your last name.
My name is Keith Lowry, Loughry,
And state your business address.
7240 East Main Street, Reynoldsburg, Ohio, 43068.
Thank you.
You may proceed.
Thank you. You're employed by the Reynoldsburg Police Department?
Yes, sir.
You so employed back on October the 31st, 2024?
Yes.
On that date, were you made aware of a complaint about something that had happened on October 26th, 2024?
Yes.
And in response to that, did you go to 20?
I did, yes.
And is that in the city of Reynoldsburg, Licking County portion of Ohio?
It is.
And did you recover any firearms?
I did. I've recovered 3 firearms.
Why don't you explain to us how you came to find those firearms and what you recovered?
So I was asked by Officer Lewis to assist with him in making the arrest on the defendant for a violation of an order. I was informed that there was believed to be firearms in the house. So we went to the address, placed the defendant under arrest, asked for consent from the ex-wife to go into the home. She gave us consent. She said that she knew.
Objection. She's not my ex-wife.
Overruled.
Go ahead.
She gave us consent. We went into the home. She showed us where one of the firearms were. It was a shotgun up in the master bedroom, leaning in the corner. A handgun was also found underneath the mattress in the master bedroom. I found a magazine that didn't match the handgun. It belonged to a different one, so I asked the defendant where the other firearm was. At first, he told me he wasn't sure if it was at a friend's house or at home. I asked if it would be at home, where would it be? He told me it would be in the garage. Went into the garage and I found that firearm.
Okay. In addition to the firearm, did you recover any ammunition for the guns as well?
Just the ammunition that was in the magazines.
Okay. Magazines were not in the handguns, but it was loaded with shells
Yes,
and ammunition.
correct.
Nothing.
Mr. Hunter, you have any questions for the officer?
No.
You may step down. May call your next witness.
We have no further witnesses, Your Honor. Would move for introduction into evidence of plaintiff's exhibits 1, 2, and 3.
Okay. Mr. Hunter, you have any objection to those exhibits?
No.
Okay. I'll admit exhibits 1, 2, and 3. Mr. Hunter, you have any witnesses today?
I do not.
Would you like to testify today?
Yes.
Okay. Please take a stand.
Right up here to the witness stand, please. Take whatever you need with you. Right up here. Right. Yes, sir. You're right up there, remain standing, raise your right hand. Solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you should give in this case now being here to be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help you God, under the penalty of perjury. Have a seat. State your full name, spell your last name.
Roland Hunter, Hunter.
Just state your home address.
2 Muntsburg, Ohio, 43068.
You want to tell me what happened, Mr. Hunter? You want to tell me what happened?
I'm sorry,
Do you want to tell me what happened?
Oh, yes, sir. So like on the day of the arrest, like I said, I was in the family room, and just prior to that, 2 days before my arrest, I had pictures on my phone of the basement that her 2 adult children occupy. Toilet seat, urine, feces on the seat, trash everywhere, just disgusting. So they've been living in the house since we moved in there on May 3rd. Not April, it was May 3rd that we moved in there, and they have been occupying the lower level basement residence. And like I said, they're grown adults. But I just find it disrespectful that how they kept my home that, you know, me and my wife, their mother, provides for them. So I told her that I'll give your 2 adult children 60 days to move out, to find, you know, other living arrangements. That's when things escalated into her going to filing this protection order. Like I said, we've been in this house for going on 6 months. No protection order was filed, no issues with firearms or anything. And like I said, before May 3rd, I told her before we sign this agreed upon lease, which I am the primary leaseholder of this home, and she's, you know, the add-on under me on the lease. I said, go, you know, this protection order needs to be dropped. And she said, I'll go ahead and do it. Like I said, to be misled and figuring that that protection order whole ordeal was dropped. You know, it's my wife, I gotta believe her. But even backtracking after that, the first protection order when it was filed, I did move out of the home that we shared, moved into an apartment. I stayed there for 2.5 years. She co-signed for this apartment for me. She visited frequently. Her kids, we ate dinner, sat down as a family, watched movies, went out to events together, everything. There was never, ever an issue. She knew I had firearms there at the apartment for 2.5 years. We found this house, we moved into it. I've always had firearms, always. Me and her have been to the shooting range together with our firearms. There's never been an issue with that. The gun that my rifle that's in the bedroom has been there since we moved in. she's always had knowledge of me having firearms. There's never been that. I'm always being protective of my family. I'm exercising my rights to bear arms. You know, and like I said, once I gave her the ultimatum of having her kids move out, her older adult children to move out, that's when she went on defense mode and filed the order of violation of protection. But she's on record stating that I never threatened her, I never cursed at her, never raised my hand to her, never did anything to remotely think that she was in fear of her life or anything like that. You know, I love my wife, you know, and like I said, my son, my 9-year-old son, is still in the house. And this is what I had to endure since I got arrested and haven't been able to go back to the house. I haven't even been able to interact with my own 9-year-old son. You know, that's the pain that I had to endure. And I almost lost my job. I've been an Orkin pest control technician for Orkin Pest Control for the last 4 years. And I had to let them know about this whole case here where I almost lost my job, my livelihood. The reason, you know, I make a lot of money on my job and I'm the sole breadwinner and I put us in bedrooms, 4 bathrooms, over 5,000 square feet. I put up the money for us to move in here. I furnished the whole house and took $25,000 out of my bank account and bought everybody brand new beds. This is not a man that is trying to harm his wife or harm anyone for that matter. I love my wife, I love my family, and like I said, this is her defense mode of me putting her 2 older children out. Nothing more, nothing less. And maybe I could have handled it a different way, but for me to having to live from hotel to hotel to hotel and be away from my son and be away from, not even be able to just sit down and talk about things and discuss how I made her feel, whatever. Your Honor, that is the gist of it. And like I said, if the protection order was still there and she'd know this, that was just her trump card to play at any given time, which when we had that conversation about getting her kids out, she played that trump card. Well, you willingly went into this agreement to purchase this home with this protection order. So aren't we both in violation then? So, Your Honor, once again, I'm not a man that's guilty of any crime or anything, doing something negative or trying to do anything negative to anyone.
Okay, so you entered into the consent agreement in 2021, is that correct?
Correct.
Okay, and then sometime subsequent to that, you reconciled with your wife?
Right, like I said, I moved out to an apartment for 2.5 years.
Okay.
And like I said, she co-signed for it and she came and visited, spent the night and everything.
Okay. Mr. King, you have any questions?
Yes, Your Honor, very briefly. Did you ever contact anyone at the court system, clerk of courts or anyone? Did you personally ever do
what?
that?
For what?
Did you ever contact them to see what the status of that order was?
No.
Nothing further.
Anything else you'd like to say today, Mr. Honor?
Sir?
Anything else you'd like to testify about today?
No, sir.
Okay, you may step down.
Thank you.
Any other evidence you want to present today, Mr. Hunter?
No, sir.
Okay, Mr. King?
Your Honor, no rebuttal.
Okay.
Mr. Hunter apparently believes that Mrs. Hunter is the victim. I always, in these cases, say she's not the victim. There is a judge that heard all the evidence, a judge that issued an order, and that order is still in effect, and he is in violation of that order. Reckless, of course. Well, he relied upon his wife. Not one effort was made for him to verify that that order was not in effect. As the order itself says, even with the consent of the petitioner, He believes that they're both in violation, but the Ohio Supreme Court, and it came out of Licking County, actually did charge a protected party with violating the order in a complicity sort of way, and the Ohio Supreme Court said, nope, that's not what that statute is for. He was within 500 feet on or about October 26th, and he was in possession of firearms and ammunition. Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Hunter, would you like to say anything in closing?
Yes, Your Honor. You know, like I said, what I've had to endure, being away for almost a month now, away from the household, like I said, that I financially provided for my family, my children, you know, the sacrifices that I took, trying to, you know, be a law-abiding citizen and do things right. No, my wife is not a victim. She's never have been a victim. But if we looking at the facts, we went into an agreed entry to purchase this home. And me and my wife been together for 8 years, 8 wonderful years, you know. And if she gives me her word that she's gonna do something, I'm not gonna second guess it. I'm not gonna second question her. I'm gonna believe my wife that she's gonna do the right thing. And unfortunately, that didn't happen. I don't judge her for that, but overall, Your Honor, it's a lot of emotions that, you know, transpired that got us here today. It's been hard for both of us. You know, I mean, it's not just hard for me, it's hard for both of us. But the fact remains is that I'm innocent due to, you want to call it negligence, of not checking to see if she did what she said she was going to do. But once again, that's my wife. I'll take her word that she was going to do the right thing. And I just pray that these charges be dropped against me, because I'm totally innocent due to the fact that I love my wife and I love my family. Nothing further, Your Honor.
Thank you. Mr. King, the complaints, or the complaints.
Pardon?
The complaints state the violation date was November 1st.
I would ask for it to conform to, it says 11/1. I would ask it to conform to the evidence. I think it's pretty clear that they responded on October 31st.
10/31.
And it was an incident involving October 26th, which is why I was focused on that.
So the alleged violations that you're alleging to occurred on October
26th.
Okay.
Correct.
All right.
The guns and stuff were recovered, I suppose, on October 31st, but he was in possession of them on October 26th as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I believe that fits in with the time and instruction that we would give a jury, probably.
Yes, Your Honor, I believe. I don't believe it was misled or anything else.
Based on the evidence presented here today, Mr. Hunter, I find you guilty of 2 counts of violating protection order. Mr. King. you have a recommendation?
I was just conferring with the victim advocate, Your Honor. Obviously, the victim is, the other party is here, Ms. Hunter. She does not wish to address the court. She does not wish any jail or anything else. She sincerely believes that he is in need of some alcohol counseling, and thinks probation would be appropriate, certainly no jail. From my standpoint, Your Honor, certainly a fine would be appropriate. I'll leave it up to the court whether to supervise him or not, and would ask for a forfeiture of the 3 weapons that are currently in possession of the Reynoldsburg Police Department. Thank you.
Mr. Hunter, you want to say anything before I enter your sentence today?
No, Your Honor.
The counts merge, Mr. King?
I believe they're 2 separate and distinct violations, Your Honor. One is
Okay.
the having contact, and
And
the
the
other
weapons
violation
and the
would be,
separate violation?
yes.
Okay.
What does Beaver want to do? Beaver. He's in jail.
Okay, I'll impose, on the first count, I'll impose a $250 fine, court costs. On the second count, no additional fine. Obviously, Mr. Hunter, you know, you're in violation whether your wife agrees to being where you are or not. I took that consideration in entering that sentence of a fine only today. But, you know, if you were to be charged with this offense again, it's a felony offense. You understand that?
Can I ask a question?
Go ahead.
Your Honor, like, this is my home.
I understand there's an order in effect, and that order is in effect from Franklin County until that charge, till the date expires, or till the court dismisses that civil protection order. I can't do anything about that.
Basically, back to square one, she has to go and file to drop it, right?
Yeah, or it'll have to expire in 2026, whenever it expires.
If you could, Your Honor, can I ask you for one favor? Please, take her in your chambers, probably you don't have to do it in front of me, but ask my wife, does she want me back home? If you could do that, just please, I'm begging, just ask her, please.
I can't do anything about.
I'll walk out of the courtroom, you can ask her.
Okay, I can't do anything about that for you.
Just,
I'd encourage you to speak to an attorney to help, to resolve your matters, your domestic matters.
can you just ask, Your Honor, please?
I'm not going to talk to the victim. The court just doesn't do that. She had an opportunity to speak. She didn't want to speak today. I'd encourage you to contact an attorney if you want to make any contact with Mrs. Hunter, so you don't get in trouble. Okay? I'm just trying to prevent you being charged again.
So my son is supposed to do what? What am my 9-year-old son, what? He's in the home.
You have custody of your son, correct?
Yes.
Not Mrs. Hunter? Or,
No.
Okay, so you can contact a police department. Or
do
contact
what?
an attorney.
Like, I'm homeless. What am I supposed to do with a 9-year-old boy
Okay.
and be homeless? You see,
I understand. I didn't create the situation. I'm just telling you what the situation is, okay? So this is, you can go petition the court as well to get rid of that order if you think it should be gotten rid of. Obviously, it'll be up to Mrs. Hunter whether she comes and testifies that it shouldn't be removed. But I'd encourage you to speak to an attorney to help you resolve those legal issues. Any other questions today? I don't want you to get charged again because it'll be a felony charge. You understand, Mr. Hunter?
Your Honor, I went by the law. I've not contacted her
I understand
in any
that.
kind of way
Okay.
since this whole ordeal
I understand that she reconciled with you. The statute is,
We've been in a home for 6 months.
I understand. Yes, sir.
What is Reynoldsburg supposed to do with the weapons?
I'm not gonna forfeit them. He's obviously not allowed to possess them
Right.
till the order is over.
Okay,
So I'm not gonna order that they be
okay,
forfeited.
so,
Mr. Hunter, after the order is dismissed or expires, you can retrieve your weapons from the police department.
those be safekeeping them for one.
Okay.
You have a right to an appeal. You're welcome to file an appeal in the Fifth District Court of Appeals if you wish to do that. Any other questions today, Mr. Hunter? Okay. I'd really encourage you to speak to an attorney to help you with your other issues, okay? Thank you.